Mark Carney caught lying about moving jobs to the United States. Welcome to the world of politics, Mr. Carney. Hi, I'm Brian Lilley, political columnist with the Toronto Sun. It's a rough world, politics. You're going to take a lot of hits, and Mark Carney is getting hit hard now. The man wasn't touched once during either the English or French Liberal leadership debate, but now the Conservatives have him, and they've got him good. Why? Well, because the company he used to be chair of, Brookfield Asset Management, decided to move their headquarters from Toronto to New York City. They announced this back in October, and they voted on it in December. After Trump was already elected and threatening Canada, they voted to do this. Now, Carney was asked about it at the end of the English leaders' debate in Montreal on Tuesday. He was asked, did he support this? And what he did was outright lie and say he had nothing to do with it. Check it out.
Head office from Toronto to New York. Did you approve of that decision, and what does this say about your commitment to growing Canada's economy and betting on Canada as for now?
Okay, so two things. I just correct a few factual things. One, I was chair of Brookfield Asset Management. I ceased to be chair on the 15th, I think, of January when I announced for leadership. Also ceased to be chair of Bloomberg as well. Ceased to be United Nations Special Envoy on Climate Action and Finance. Ceased to be a number of other things. So I resigned all my positions because I am all in for Canada, all in for this leadership, all in during this time of crisis to build our great country. Okay, that's the first thing. Second, the formal decision of the board happened after I ceased to be on the board. I do not have a connection with Brookfield Asset Management. No longer have a role, obviously, as I resigned in the middle of January.
Here's the problem. There's proof. A December 1st letter signed by Carney sent to all shareholders saying it was a unanimous vote of the board, of which he was the chair, to move the headquarters from Toronto to New York. Then he encouraged all shareholders to back what the board had already put forward, meaning move the headquarters, move the jobs to New York City. This is the guy that says he's going to stand up to Trump, that he's all in for Canada, and yet he's shipping jobs down to New York City. The Conservatives were quick to pounce on this, and they were right to.
Now, we all know that Brookfield made that announcement on October the 31st, proving that Mr. Carney was lying to Canadians. But this morning, we can share with you a letter signed by Mark Carney on December the 1st. Now, this is just days after Donald Trump had threatened Canada for the first time with unjustified tariffs. Now, this letter says that the decision by the board, of which Mark Carney at that time was chair, was unanimous to move the headquarters and Canadian jobs to Donald Trump's hometown of New York City. And the letter implores shareholders, urges them to support the move. Now, this is not surprising, but it is extraordinary to have Mark Carney stand before Canadians and in response to media questions to lie.
Now let's add another layer to this. Carney lied about something that was simple to prove wasn't true, something that was already on the public record, by the way. What else is he not being honest about? The Conservatives have been asking him to release his investments or follow the public disclosure rules. Sure, he's not an elected MP. He isn't subject to those yet, but remember this. As soon as he's elected Liberal leader, which is almost a foregone conclusion now, he will become our Prime Minister. Well, he's currently most likely has a stake in the company Stripe. He used to sit on their board. They're about to go public in a huge initial public offering. Their evaluation is as high as $85 billion US. This is a company that is currently fighting the Canadian government over reducing credit card fees for small business owners. He's not being upfront and honest with the Canadian public on that. Now he's caught lying about moving jobs to the United States at a time when Canada is in a bit of a trade war with the Americans. This is unbelievable. This is a major own goal for Mark Carney and his Liberal leadership hopes. This is not something that he can easily sweep under the rug, and nor should he. He shouldn't be allowed to. Most of the media probably won't be calling him out on it too hard because they've decided that this is the guy they want to anoint along with the Liberal Party. But Carney needs to be questioned about this, and he needs to become clean with the Canadian public. Can we really trust him to be all in for Canada, to stand up for Canada when he was voting to ship jobs south? I don't think so. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment down below. Share this on social media, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Good morning. Last night, Mark Carney lied to Canadians. He lied to Canadians saying that his company, Brookfield Asset Management, only moved their headquarters from Canada to Donald Trump's hometown of New York City after he had resigned from the board. Now, we all know that Brookfield made that announcement on October the 31st, proving that Mr. Carney was lying to Canadians. But this morning, we can share with you a letter signed by Mark Carney on December the 1st. Now, this is days after, just days after, Donald Trump had threatened Canada for the first time with unjustified tariffs. Now, this letter says that the decision by the board, of which Mark Carney at that time was chair, was unanimous to move the headquarters and Canadian jobs to Donald Trump's hometown of New York City. And the letter implores shareholders, urges them to support the move. Now, this is not surprising, but it is extraordinary to have Mark Carney stand before Canadians and in response to media questions to lie. It's now more important than ever that he disclose all of his financial interests and conflicts of interest, knowing that he's been advising the Liberals and Justin Trudeau for 5 years and not having disclosed what his interests were to this point. It's imperative that it happens in case he becomes Prime Minister. And it's more important than ever now that he's demonstrably lied to Canadians. We know that we can't trust what Mark Carney says, and we now know that he will put profits for himself and for well-connected insiders on Bay Street and now on Wall Street ahead of Canadians. It's crystal clear. If Mark Carney wins, Canada loses.